Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to more irae. Rusalka. Honestly, Rusalka's wavelength felt thoroughly annoyed. Why, do you ask? Well, I ask why as well.
やっぱりこっちはいいね。しばらく見ない間に随分と様変わりしたもんだよ。その点城はどうも味気なくってね。
Because there's some stupid brat around.
ほら、あれなんかキラキラして飴みたいじゃないか。鉄とガラスでできた塔かい？あんなの昔はなかったね。
His eyes sparkled just as much as he gazed upon the looming structure. He had been pushing Rusalka all over town for almost the whole day now.
けど、ここはドイツのどこなんだろう。面影がなさすぎてわかんないけど、まさかベルリンじゃあるまいし。
Are you retarded or something? Yeah, you are.
ドレスデン？シュトゥットガルト？それともミュンヘン？ハンブルクかい？正直デュッセルドルフだったら嫌だな。
None of those.
日本よ。
How could he not know that much? God damn it. He'd likely just forgotten. Or is just stupid. Rusalka heaved an exasperated sigh.
ヤーパン、ジャパン。同盟してた東洋の国があったでしょ？そこの一都市。
ヤーパン。
And Schreiber is an idiot, and he considered her for a few puzzled moments before suddenly clapping his hands together.
ああ、そういやそんな国があったね。東洋のどのあたり？チベットの辺？
そのもっと東。中国から朝鮮半島。そこから海を渡ったところにある島国。
中国、朝鮮。なんだいそれ。
Are you fucking American?
あるの？
Are you sure you're German? This looks like more American, to be honest.
だからあなたは。
She was positively thoroughly annoyed. Looking over dumb children shouldn't have been her job.
日本語話せてるじゃない。それがなんでそんなこともわからないのよ。
だって言葉はね。
He directly pointed at his iPad, making the wry smile of a mischievous child being scolded for his berg. Don't tell me, you actually have an eye, and you have subtitles there.
この中に、その日本人もいたっていうだけだと思うよ。言語やなんてのは共有しやすいからこの通りだけど、食べた相手の記憶や知識まで投影してたら、僕はどれだけ多重人格になるんだって話さ。アンナだってそうしてるんじゃないの？
別に。
Or rather, he was about the only one who could actually pull off a crazy thing like that. Their accumulated souls were but fuel for their Achnenerbe, so they could occasionally function as armor if needed. The mind of an average person couldn't possibly cope with having to process the individual information of every random soul they absorbed. Kind of like how you couldn't drive a car and read a book. Rather, the endless memoirs of numerous people at the same time. With some luck, you'd just crash into something. The less fortunate would go insane. But this man, or rather child.
意外だな。君はそういうのが好きな人だと思っていたけど。
He would slice up, analyze, and carefully observe every soul he had absorbed. A reflection of his monomaniac and sadistic nature, urging him to thoroughly devour all his victims. At a glance, he might have been no more than a child, but behind his mask, he harbored incredible potential for analyzing all manner of information, which was why she simply couldn't grow to like him.
まあ、確かに嫌いではないけど、速読は苦手なのよ。
If she possessed a mind like that, she could probably increase her knowledge about limits. Yet ironically enough, the one to be endowed with that trait happened to be a drolling idiot.
そうか。まあ君は頭がいいから、そんなことする必要がないんだろうね。羨ましいよ。
ありがとう。
She made another sigh as well as a mental shrug of the shoulders. A high-pitched sound resembling a whistle reached the two from behind, prompting them to turn around.
なんだよありゃ。
A couple of shady-looking men and women pointed their fingers at them, snickering. Not that she could blame them. They looked no older than teenagers and wore SS uniforms to boot. You didn't have to be as intellectually deficient as this bunch to want to make fun of someone like that.
ねえ、なんなのあれ。
ほっときなさいよ。どこにでもいる暇人だから。
They sucked big time that day. Schreiber attacked a whole herd of idiots from every corner of the city. Just to make her life hell. Living life with elegance, looking down on those inferior with a perpetual derisive sneer. That was her way of life. Under normal circumstances, she could easily shut these people up with her charms, turning them into a bunch of doting fools who want to take pictures of her. After all, one couldn't possibly make fun of someone they deemed superior. But Schreiber simply didn't possess that kind of overwhelming elegance and beauty. He'd have a certain cherubic cuteness to him at first glance, but it wouldn't take long to make one think something was off, and they'd be right. There was indeed something not quite right with him. A complete lack of empathy and common sense, along with a twisted sense of morality and aesthetics. He was a monster lacking all common restraints that differentiated man from beast, not to mention his tendency of forgetting about his own actions seconds after carrying them out. All in all, Schreiber was the very essence of unpredictability. Still, one thing he could be trusted to was follow Lord Heinrich's orders. Yet the Lord Commander of the Obsidian Table would rarely ever reprimand him, allowing the Ashen Beast to unleash carnage without restraint. As such, Wolfgang Schreiber was, and always had been, like an infant playground in a room littered with the lamp switches of nuclear weaponry. To make matters worse, his sadism knew no limits. In the end, Rusaka heaved a sigh of resignation as she listened to the group of punks call them every possible name for male and female genitalia. They had no idea what kind of beast they had just awakened. In a handful of seconds, those kids would learn that the world gave home to beasts far more terrifying than when their meager imaginations could ever hope to conjure up. She felt a dash of sympathy for them, but this was also entirely their own fault. Yeah, it was. Someone had to teach them that not even humans could survive for long without fully developed instincts to detect danger, and it just so happened that this lesson cost them their lives. In any case, she was done looking after that two-legged time bomb for the day. But just as that thought crossed her mind, Schreiber suddenly jerked his head towards her, pressing his lips against her cheek. As Rusaka froze please completely bewildered, Schreiber gave the noisy rabble a wave of the hand accompanied by a broad smile.
何をするのよ。
だってさ、やれやれってあの人たち言ってたじゃない。僕はまあ、君も知ってる通りの体だから、彼らの要望通りの真似はできないけど、これくらいならね。
I don't know what it is like and I don't want to know.
嫌だったかい？
別に嫌じゃん。
Rather, it was so stupid it didn't even register to her in that sense.
じゃあよかった。
He wrapped his hands around Rusalka's back and legs, lifting her up.
お姫様抱っこってこれだよね。いやー、君は軽いなー。
He then proceeded to run around the square, jumping and spinning around like a ballet dancer.
こら、ちょっとやめてよ、シュライバー。
Ignoring her pleas, the boy began to sing.
天に輝く銀の月よ。
Oh,
その光
they
は
are
愛に
finished.
満ちて、世界のすべてを静かに照らし、地に行き交う人たちをいつも優しく見下ろしている。
One of Dvorak's masterworks, the opera of Rusalka. She might have had a petite frame, but one still had to question if she was on the moon, judging by how gracefully Schreiber leapt through the air while holding her in his arms. If that alone wasn't enough, this boyish soprano reverberated across the skies like a full-blown core. The street punks looked at the speckling utter bewilderment, their barrage of curses soon turning into a gasp of astonishment.
ああ、月よ。そんなに急がないで。教えてほしい。私の愛しい人はどこにいるの？
A scene from a legend had come to life in the park, a young boy with a girl in his arms, singing an ode of love while illuminated by silvery moonlight. All those in the vicinity narrowed their eyes at the spell-bending sight, their hearts aflutter with excitement. The two were in love. They must have been fairies hailing from a world different from their own, likely to vanish into the thin air at the first light of dawn. An angelic smile of purity and innocence graced by boys' lips. One couldn't help but want to cheer for the 2,000 lovers, praying that no plot twist of fate could ever separate them. Schreiber's mesmerizing dance was such a magnificent display of poignant grace that it managed to enthrall even the hearts of the cynical and ever-realistic men and women of modern Japan. City dwellers practically conditioned not to pay attention to the lives of others. Almost as if it was a thing that didn't belong in the mortal realm.
天空のさすらい人よ、伝えてほしい。私はいつもあの人を思っていると。
His lips had already reached up to the over three meters. The spectators below began to murmur, exchange glances among each other before finally realizing that something was terribly wrong.
ああ、伝えてほしい。私があの人を愛していると。The
boy began walking up the tower's wall. He displayed the aberrant scene for everyone to see, advancing up the steep wall on his tiptoes like a cat, completely disregarding the laws of gravity. Reenacting a scene from a nightmare.
愛しい人が夢の中に私を見るなら。
He performed an axle jump, using a glass surface as his skating ring. A quadruple axle jump of 4.5 rotations, the most challenging maneuver in figure skating as of yet unachieved by skaters across the globe. Yet the boy had just done it with no run-up, and on a vertical wall. No less, he kept on spinning 5, 6, 10 times, breaking the world record. Even Rosong had to take a gasp when the incredible centrifugal force of such abrupt acceleration took a hold of her. Spinning at a maddening velocity, Schreiber shot towards the group of rowdy-looking men and women that had made fun of them just moments before.
その幻とともに目覚めてちょうだい。
He turned to a singing whirlwind, seizing Rosakabe's hands and spinning her around. In that instant, his dance partner had effectively turned into a blunt weapon. At this speed, however, calling it an instrument of decapitation would be more apt. Whoa. The delicate legs of the girl, now spinning like a blade of a chainsaw, separated the torsos of the four punks on their legs in the blink of an eye, spraying the pavement crimson with blood and body parts. Naturally, Osaka had no say in this. She wasn't one to shy away from a bloodbath, but this time she turned out to be as much of a victim as the rest of the onlookers. A cacophony of terrifying screams and shouts of confusion erupted in the night, finally supplying the dancers with their tune. A musical of carnage. By the time the spectators realized that the boy was no angel but something far more sinister when it once came, it was already too late.
ああ、月よ、行かないで。そんなに早く逃げないで。
Alright, can they shut up actually? He wouldn't let a single person escape his place. He landed gracefully in the ground and promptly jumped for another spin. Despite carrying the weight of another person, Schreiber nonetheless launched over 7 meters in the air. On top of that, he threw the girl into the air even further above himself.
あの人をその光で照らしてほしい。
The next moment, there were two pistols in his hands. Tools that had seen so much use, the gunmetal of them had lost its shine entirely. A Mauser and a Lager, both engraved with the Wolf's Angel, the fangs and claws of the beast of the Einsatzgruppe. He was the one and only Schreiber of Sternwind. Albedo, the Ashen Knight, a base to devour sun and moon alike, a living eclipse. Right, they really got shut up finally. Hruvitnir, the beast of Janjos and vicious fame, devouring earth and sky, followed to spread his bane.
その輝きであの人がどこにいてもわかるように。
The nose of a shark, eyes of a hawk, actually one eye probably, ears of a bug, a chimera of insects. His special senses eliminated any handicap a missing eye might have given him, and so, despite spinning in the air at the speed of a whirlwind, his aim proved frightfully lethal. Almost in an instant, 30 bullets found their way right to the skulls of their 30 panicking bystanders. And how the hell do you have 30 bullets in there? Well, maybe.
月よ、行かないで。そんなに早く逃げないで。
Where is my freaking book? There it is. Right, it was Mauser and something, right? I wonder actually how many bullets one of those had. Right, I can check what was that actually. Alright, where the hell is that? Defies, 2 pistols. Okay, there it is. Mauser. Well, yeah, but which Mauser? That's the problem. Right, now that's problematic. I guess that needs some deeper research, and we don't have time for that now. Maybe later I will check, if I won't forget. Anyway, even though the area had long since been emptied of living people, Schreiber's pistols refused to stop, continued to litter the dead bodies with myriad holes. Not a single time did he stop to reload. How? Right, actually, maybe that's his power somehow, that he can use the guns without reloading. Useful. Yet he had already fired 200, now even more shots. A machine gun with infinite bullets in the shape of handguns. The gunfire would not cease until their prey evaporated without a trace.
ああ、月よ。そんなに急がないで。私の愛しい人はどこにいるの？
So gliding through the air in the same position. The Schreiber flung her in Rusalka. Rusalka narrowed her eyes at the bloodbath below her. She too was faint with hardly any more empathy than the boy. Senseless murder neither scared nor made her uncomfortable. Still, Schreiber's penchant for massacre had a different feel to it. Rusalka and Wilhelm too were sadists who enjoyed torturing and murdering people with whim, sometimes even delighting in the activity as a form of sport. It being compared to Schreiber's madness would surely make even her stomach turn. It wasn't like he alone possessed something unimaginably diabolic that the other two didn't. Quite on the contrary. He lacked motivation. His movements were fueled by the senseless curiosity of a predator, the carnage he enacted being his only means of communication. Much like an infant would plop anything he found on the ground straight into his mouth, Schreiber too would devour all he came across. And so, Wolfgang Schreiber was the last person she wanted anything to do with. He possessed neither the concept of love nor that of a friendship or camaraderie. Even if he did, he would only be able to express it through carnage.
やあ、アンナ。空の旅はどうだったかな？
Who's Anna? Schreiber caught Rusalka in the ground. As she finally reached the ground, the boy had transcended or rather lost his humanity before ever joining the Knights of the Obsidian Table. Even Wilhelm, the very incarnation of debauchery, said he must have been born from a dog or something. Well, or he does experience something terrible, I guess. In the very beginning of life, kind of. Like very early on the very early stage of his life. And that way, he began a berserk. Become a berserk, god damn it. Okay, alright. Rusalka harbored a natural aversion towards Schreiber, one of a slightly different kind compared to what she felt towards Reinhardt and her couriers. If she had the choice, she would never speak to the boy again, and would have loved nothing more than for him to stop pestering her. Being the target of his curiosity was the last thing she needed in her life.
楽しかったから、もう下ろして。
She tried acting gentle and affectionate so as not to provoke him. Schreiber, on the other hand, didn't appear to be listening. He looked about him, scanning every nook and cranny of the scare before ultimately letting out a disappointed sigh.
ねえ、なんでもう誰もいないのさ。
Well, it's as they mentioned before. He forgets what he did.
だって、それは。
Samuel was partly to blame, having caused the Issei calamity without a shred of thought about how it would affect the modern world. Most of the potent sacrifices had shut themselves in their homes and would no longer venture outside at night. Yo. That would be about me, I guess. And that was why Rusalka came here to do something about luring her out. But now that Schreiber had killed everyone she could have used, the whole plan was in shambles. Rusalka, remembering to be angry about the fact, promptly leapt out of the boy's embrace, who seemed to still be busy lamenting the absence of more prey.
塔の上にはジャミエルとクリストフもいるんでしょ。私は彼らと話があるから、あなたはそこで待っていて。
Because all he could do was a hindrance in a way. Be a hindrance. She turned around, scolding her a bitter remark. They were useless, each and every one of them. Leon snatched the school's swastika from right under the nose. Bay, the only fellow member she had grown to trust, decided to kick the bucket, and Christoph, what? Oh yeah, that... yeah. Somehow, hearing Bay, I was thinking about someone completely different, I don't know why. Anyway, and Christoph went so far as to take kind from her. The rest comprised of a walking time bomb whose only way of communication was through slaughter, a military bitch with a stick up her ass who wouldn't bend the rules if her life depended on it, a loud who didn't know how to speak, and a fallen priest whose words you could never trust. The hell was up with that lineup? Rusalka felt herself the only one with even an ounce of sanity left. Well, I don't know if that's true, but okay. As she busied herself with following in photo presentment, Schreiber addressed her from behind.
ごめんね。僕らは役に立たなくってさ。
Hey? Oh, indeed, he was no good at all. Their ability to kill others during times of war was the only thing that earned them their ranks. She was smarter and more competent than the rest. The battalion 3, their captains exhausted by senseless destruction, might have been fantastic warriors but quite lacking as commanders. As proof, all their panzer divisions from the Lach through Das Reich, all the way to Totenkopf, ended up being completely annihilated. Wait, or could it be they simply killed their own troops themselves? Yeah, that's how it was actually.
まったく、君には本当頭が下がるよ。
Schreiber continued his series of apologies as a number of disquieting thoughts flashed through Rusalka's mind.
もう役に立ちそうなのは君しかいないんだよ、アンナ。迷惑かけるけど、ごめんね。
Okay? Why did she suddenly have trouble forcing any words out?
人がいない。ここのスワスチカを開けない。はあ。僕らは確かに役立たずだから、君に頼るしかなさそうだよ。
Sorry for all they were making her to go through. She was the only one who could still be of use. She was the last one they could turn to for help. The next moment, she staggered 2 or 3 meters away from him. No. Impossible! It must have been her imagination. She eliminated the train of disturbing thoughts by seeing the blade of reason dip into them. Machina, Samuel, and Schreiber might have been staunch and seasoned veterans without exception, but they were hardly better than amateurs when it came to the arcane. She'd be quite surprised if they could even cast basic tracing and sleep spells properly. Right now, she was their only expert in terms of magic. It wouldn't have made sense for them to suddenly write her out of the equation.
どうしたんだい?
She must have simply overreacted to the aura of dread lingering about the boy at all times. The rant was completely mad anyway. She was foolish to even lend an ear to his ravings. Or so she tried convincing herself.
そんなに怯えないでよ、アンナ。
His lips formed an angelic smile. Why did she feel like this madman with more screws loose than Soviet furniture? Good one. Could see right through her.
君は本当に可愛いな。昔から怖がりで、ハイドリ秘境やクラフトだけじゃなく、僕やルベドやニグレドまでもが怖いのかい？長く生きると世の中怖いものだらけになっちゃう人なんだね。あ、だったらさ、
私は
Her instincts demanded she not let him finish.
上でクリストフたちに用があるの。だからあなたはここにいていい？こ ここにいるのよ。
You just said that before.
ああ。うん。いいよ、別に。
What was up with his sensation? He felt as though he was looking right through her, dissecting her heart, slicing it to pieces, laughing at her. The analyzing part right about him. And did Rusalka's sixth sense. Her premonition was right on the mark. Schreiber might have been able to comprehend the mind of human beings, but he was no fool. He had his faculties perfectly about him. The nose of a shark, eye of a hawk, ears of a bat, a chimera of insects. The wolf's fangs and limbs were ever useful instruments of carnage, but his other tools could perceive the inner world of those around him with staggering precision, for not through comprehension, but the act of tearing it out. He knew people from their screams, from the blood he bathed himself in. He could perceive their facial expressions, hear the changing rhythm of their hearts, and sniff out their sweat and adrenaline. As such, he could read Rusalka like an open book.
じゃあ
Schreiber gave the girl a gentle smile as she hurried into the elevator.
待ってるよ、アンナ。できれば僕のところへ来てくれると嬉しいな。
In short, he meant that.
やれやれ。シュライバー卿も人が悪い。余計なことを言って、あたら怖がせる必要もないでしょうに。
Valeria Trifa made a wry smile as he observed the two from the tower's observatory.
家に帰るまでが遠足。任務も達成するまでが命令。といったところで、馬の耳に念仏ですかね。ここはリザとテレシアが好んでいた場所なので、婿の民から犠牲を出すつもりはなかったというのに。このありさまでは意味がない。正直、心が痛みますよ。
No one cares about you, Trifa. Over 30 lives had been lost due to Schreiber's meaningless feat of carnage. The square below Christo's gaze had been painted crimson with the blood of innocence.
まあよい。必要最小限の犠牲だったと割り切りましょう。残るスワスチカは、ここを入れてあと3つ。もはや核の実など、私が気にする必要もありませんし、今からは走り抜けます。
We'll see about that.
であればザミエル卿、あなたはどうなると思われますか？
さて、私としては貴様が選ばれると面白いが。
Eleanor shrugged with an icy smile on her lips before shifting her gaze from the scenery below to the other two silhouettes hidden in the shadows of the observatory's walls.
あれの考えるコスカライダさんなど容易に見当はつく。まずシュライバーでは相性が悪すぎて、私ではさらにダメだ。
マキナ卿とは一見して好相性だが、その特性が堅能すぎる。となれば私ですかね。
他に誰もいなければな。
She's not. Eleanor let out a disdainful snort.
言ったろう。あれはコスカライ。確実に勝てるような相手としか戦わん。貴様は奴に言わせればさしずめ正体不明だ。
ならば。
Eleanor gave the priest a note as his gaze shifted towards the corner.
それしかなかろう。デク人形相手にどうやったら負けられる。そしてそう思っている相手に戦を挑むような恥知らずなら私もいらん。貴様の方針に乗ってやろう。ここをブレンナーが好いていた云々の真偽はともかく、誰と戦うかを選ばせてやる以上、5分の4の確率で無効にするという貴様の条件。これでもまだ今日を引くならもはや救えん。願わくはあれが盛しい魔術師ではなく戦士であることを祈るばかり。
まあそういった教授はあなたとキルヒ愛禅教の1000倍でしたからね。彼女に期待するのはいかんとも。おや
Trifa cocked his head to the side in an exaggerated motion and looked around the room. They were now one person short.
これは巻な今日。くだらなすぎて付き合えぬという意思表示ですかな？
だろうな。奴は私以上に小細工を好む。貴様とは別の意味で愚直だよ。で、それはそうとだ。
The elevator approached at a steady pace. 5 floors left, for free!
いいのか。下のあれを放っておいて。どこに飛んでいくかわからんぞ。
ええ、申しました通り、これからは走り抜けます。もとより、彼が私に従うなど、一度きりが限度ですよ。
だが、あれはスワスチカの場所すら意に介さん男だ。ハイドリヒ教への供物を無駄にばらまき、浪費した場合は何とする？
その時はその時。私はあなたの理解さえ得られれば、それで良いと思っていますよ。
なるほどな。
The elevator gave off a brief jingle as it reached the top floor, its cheerful melody only contrasting the heavy atmosphere of the tower. The doors then parted, revealing a girl.
では、聞くだけ無駄と思うが言ってみるか。
ええ、よろしくお願いします。
Alana turned around with a composed smile on her face as Trifa gave a theatrical nod. He then shifted his gaze to the side, addressing the shadow in a calm voice.
カイン、聞こえていますか？あそこにいるのが生産杯です。
Wow, you fucking liar. As if the words were a magical spell, the giant shuddered, his joints coming alive. He spat out curses of indignation through his clenched teeth, his mouth leaking rotten saliva without stopping. Such hatred, such obsession, such...
愛でしょうかね。素晴らしい。
The decayed giant would neither forgive nor forget. Trifa could understand and empathize with his feelings from the bottom of his heart. Is that so?
そして、行きましたか？シュライバー卿。
Perhaps he could no longer contain his hunger, or had simply forgotten why he had been waiting. The square below was completely deserted. The ancient beast, with its shackles now torn off and discarded, could be restrained by no one. The scent of powerful beings' blood would bereft him of all self-control. Wounded lions were indeed his favorite prey.
さて。
Would the trembling lioness, her heart-killing yell to despair, be devoured by the maddened wolf? Or not? The shriek of a girl reached Trifa from behind. Just as they had thought, the witch opted for the incorrect choice, and had been split apart by the giant's blade of concentrated resentment. The priest made a smile as tears of fresh blood welled in his eyes, the stigmata's essence soaking through and dripping down his mantle. What? That fast?
私はあなたを買っているのです、レオンハルト。
Oh.
マレウスとは違うところを見せてほしいものですね。
With the opening of the Swiss swastika, the 3 battalion commanders could now evoke up to 8% of their powers. 80, sorry. The invincible Legion of Fallen Champions, known as Enhariar. They were certainly not the kind of fool a single wounded girl could possibly handle. In which case...
あなたはどうされますか、藤井さん。
In short, the girl's fate now rested in the hands of a single boy. The priest made the sign of the cross with exerted emotions, his heart beating ceaselessly with anticipation. We'll find out in the next episode what happens after that. The introduction to chapter 10 it was. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.